Well, good morning and welcome back. This is hour number 2 for Tampa Home Talk. And Katrina's trying to figure out how to use an iPhone.
It smells like hand sanitizer wipes all over the other half of the table. How come my side of the table didn't get a wipe down?
Here.
I don't want that. That was on that side of the table.
You're the only one that's been over there.
That's true.
I'll wipe it down after you leave.
So that was exciting. We did a changeover. We had an interesting last hour, wouldn't you say?
We did. And actually, the person that we were chatting with had some really great questions, and we promised to answer like the last 2 at the end of the hour, which we are going to do. Or actually, we'll do it probably at the beginning of the hour.
Yeah.
We have some new guests for this particular hour that I'm going to introduce. And so we've got a pretty cool next hour lined up for you guys. We're going to talk to my team cleaners about the dirtiest places in your home. And so I caught a little snippet of what they were saying in the lobby.
Wouldn't the dirtiest place in my home be my bed? Even if you change your sheets on a regular basis?
Was he listening
so
to
what,
the
you
wall?
were listening?
I wasn't listening. That's just what I would guess is the dirtiest place in the home.
So we'll talk about that in a second. So I just want to introduce you guys. We have Christian and Natalie, and we're going to chat about that in just a moment. I do want to get to the last couple of questions that we had from the
other story.
Yeah.
Which one am I supposed to ask?
Whichever one you want, go.
The Mirror Bay community is very nice. However, the taxes are very high. It seems that houses sit on the market there for a long time. Is there still a lot of new houses going up there? Your thoughts?
Yeah, they're still building quite a bit in there. And the taxes are high, but the millage is different everywhere you live. Right?
Right.
So the millage rate, I think, he's looking at places like Mirror Bay. So they do have much higher millage rates.
As the geographically challenged, where is Mirror Bay?
Apollo Beach.
Okay.
Southern Hillsborough County. Mm-hmm. And I love his last question. Thought it was pretty awesome. You're going to like it too.
I have studied the last 50 years of residential pricing trends during the economic downturns. Most agents say this is different, despite the clear correlation between unemployment and home prices. How would we go about agreeing on realistic expectations on valuations? Sounds like a question I would write.
It was actually, I thought, a very, very great question. And, real estate is cyclical. So, when I answered this question to him, I said, look, I'm not ignoring the unemployment numbers because we can see that.
1 in 6, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a large number. We do realize that there are people unemployed. The thing you have to look at, there's a couple pieces of information that are really, really important. The second piece that's really important outside of looking at the employment numbers is the rates. And the interest rates right now are so low. They're in the 2s. So, when you look at affordability for now compared to pre-COVID, you actually can qualify for more or have a lower payment for the same thing.
As long as you're not one of the 6.
Of course. You have to have a job to get a loan. Now.
And Florida did get hit pretty heavily. You got to look at Orlando, like Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens. Those shutting down are more than just the hospitality people who actually work in the park. You've got contracts. Disney and Universal, both in their contracts to all services, have a force majeure where if something like COVID happens, they can cancel your contract overnight and there's no recourse. So, you've got the engineering fields, the inspection fields, the transportation fields. You've got all these ancillary parts that have nothing to do with people walking around the park. All of those contracts get placed on hold, and that just creates the snowball thing where you get a bunch of engineers now that are unemployed.
If you were to ask anybody in the United States, tell me something in Orlando, what are they going to say?
Disney.
Exactly. So when you have a staple as big as something like Disney that's shut down, it will affect all of those things. Now, if you're one of those engineers you're speaking about and you live in Orlando and your primary client or your main client is Disney, you got a couple options, right?
Not really. I kind of feel bad for some of these engineering companies because on the long-term engineering sales cycle, it's like with home inspections, and that's why we do both home inspection and engineering. With home inspections, you get a buyer, they need an inspection, they get it within 10 days. Engineering contracts can take a couple of months to chase down. So if you have a COVID incident where governments are shutting down in big what does function as a municipality, Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens shut down, you can't just instantly turn around and find other work. It's a process. Plus now you have all these other firms that have already entrenched themselves in these non-municipal, non-Disney type clients. They're not going to let you into that space. So you just can't find work. You have to just kind of bide your time, get this payment protection plan or this EIDL loan,
Right.
and just kind of ride it out.
You could. That's one option. Another option might be to pivot. And so you're a good example of what I see in this, Leo. You recognize that, okay, our home inspection business is really strong, but it might not always remain that way. So we probably should add some other layers, right? And if you had a slow period, which you guys really didn't have much of a lull either, did you?
No, we did in home inspection, but we pivoted. I mean, maybe it's the fact for the last year we've been talking about a coming recession. I've been pivoting Beryl to do services other than home inspection. So when COVID hit, we were already moving in a non-home inspection direction. I just kind of upped the effort. We didn't invent anything new. We just upped effort in a couple of other
it gave
areas.
you the opportunity, the space, and the time to focus and lean in and push towards things you were already considering.
Yeah, I mean, as of today, we've never been busier because now that home inspection is coming back, we've got these new markets we broke into, and we've got home inspection, so we're actually hiring.
Yeah. And so it's a good plan, like long term. And I always think, what would I do if I were some of these engineers that you mentioned that, their primary client is Disney or somewhere in that space? I can't imagine that even as an engineer, you could not pick up some type of contract work somewhere else on a temporary basis.
Here's another problem with these large engineering firms. And I came from a large engineering firm for this reason in particular. I was able to win $25,000 to $50,000 projects for one of the largest engineering firms in the world. They kept turning the projects down because it would cost them more than $25,000 in executive decision-making meetings that had to happen to decide if they wanted to go for the project or not. So they couldn't be profitable.
You would get the deal, and they would take too long to figure out if they wanted to act on the deal.
I would get the deal, and then they would say, we can't sit down for under $15,000 to decide if we're going to pursue anything, so there's no money in a $25,000 deal. And when I did 7 of those in a row, I'm like,
you started doing the math.
I'm just going to do this on my own. I'm not stupid enough to think I'm going to pull in these, because a lot of times these companies want to deal with the really large firms because they want the insurance, the longevity, all that.
Right.
I wasn't stupid enough to think I could take those contracts with me, but I'm like,
you didn't need to.
This is just painful.
You found a different niche in the market.
Yeah. I mean, like after $150,000 worth of contracts they just said no to, I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I spinning my wheels?
So to answer this guy's question, he was talking about studying the last 50 years of residential pricing trending in through economic downturns and how that relates to the unemployment numbers. And the fact is, this market is different. And so I'm not saying or suggesting that we are not going to see a real estate dip, because we will.
We did.
Real estate's cyclical, but I don't think that's it. I think there's more coming behind it. And actually, this is something I've been wanting to cover, but I've got to put together more information to be able to cover it for you guys, as the host, but I'm very familiar with it. The forbearance agreements. So the forbearance agreements that these banks are offering, basically saying, hey, if you can't make your mortgage payment, call us. We'll let you skip it. These are dangerous.
Oh, of course.
These are really dangerous. And, I usually like to get that paperwork to look at it to share, but I've got some other sources that have been reviewing a lot of that paperwork. And what we're seeing is there's about 4 different types of forbearance agreements out there. One of them is the most dangerous. We're going to cover this probably for almost an hour.
Are they going to balloon payment at the end of the...
I think they're going to balloon, but the other thing too is some of these agreements that the banks are sending and putting in front of them is they are so loosey-goosey. There's no clear... They're just saying, we'll figure it out later. And that is not a good position to be in with the bank. It is not.
Not for thousands of dollars a month.
So I think, honestly, when we do see a dip, it's going to be the ones that were unemployed during this cycle. They took the bank up on the forbearance agreements. And now the bank's figuring out when they want to either call it due or what they want to do, or they'll put the homeowner in a position where they couldn't possibly meet the demands of the bank.
It's kind of like the interest-only payments back in the day.
I think they're different.
Well, yeah. I mean, interest-only, at least you were paying something.
Yeah, but I just think they're totally different. I mean, where people got into the trap of the interest-only payments is, understanding the paperwork so that when this resets, how does the interest rate plus the margin calculate into a new payment? How does that relate into what my payment's going to be with the bank?
True.
Because it's not about just the interest only.
We'll have to talk more about that and give our off-air number when we come back from the break.
We will. Off-air number 813-377-2775. There's more. 813-377-2775. We'll be back. Stick around. Real quick break. We'll be back in a jiff.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. Leo Kane here. I'm sitting next to Natalie and Christian with My Team Cleaners, and they want to talk about the dirtiest places in my home.
And we are going to do that. So, real quick for forbearance, we will cover that on another show.
We should get a money guy on here, a money bank guy.
Yeah, we could. I'd love to get a copy of some of the forbearance agreements out there. So, if you have signed one of these forbearance agreements, please send it to me so that I can review it. I want to cover some of the stuff on the air.
Can they actually text a forbearance agreement to 813-377-2775?
No, but you could call 813-377-2775 and we'll give you our information to email it so that we can cover it. We won't use your name or any of that, but it's going to be really important information to share because, again, you don't want the bank being the one to either call your note due or whatever. And I could share horror stories. I've got one right now. It's a past client. We'll talk about that like when we cover the forbearance stuff. But that's where we're going to see the dip. So going back to this guy's questions, 50 years of residential pricing, I do think we're going to see a normal cyclical real estate dip. I think it's going to be mainly pertaining to the number of people that have entered into these forbearance agreements with the banks and actually not been favorable. And so, it's going to leave them no option but foreclosure, deed in lieu, short. I don't think they're even going to short sell it because people have equity. Yeah. I don't think that the key is to get out before you're so upside down. Because once the banks start attaching these attorney's fees, it's hard to get out of that.
Yeah, the banks ultimately don't want the property. They want money. So it just... It's interesting now that there's because like when I think back to 2008 to 2013, there was no equity in the homes because the values were falling so fast. Now you've got equity
because there weren't real buyers in the market. It was inflating the prices unjustly.
Yeah, now you have equity in the homes, so I could see more short sales happening because the bank just wants money.
Here's something to consider if you're in a pickle. And our guests were actually talking off the air about a friend of theirs that's a bartender that bought a home and they're stuck and they're like, what do we do? Like we were making $500-600 a night and now we're down to zero because all the bars are closed. Again, my suggestion would be to pivot quickly. So if you've got some equity in that home, sell it. What can you go but pay cash for? Just make some short-term decisions that I think people can get so wrapped up in figuring out how to make it work or how to stay in their home. It's this never-ending cycle or loop that they're just not going to win. So the sooner you face reality and just make a quick decision, the sooner you can rebound from it. But
totally agree.
We'll talk about that later. So again, I think we're going to see a dip. We're not going to see a crash or a boom. We're just seeing too many relocation buyers with cash and real jobs that are qualifying for the loan. They are. They're, if you're unemployed, you're not getting a loan. But if you're employed or you got retirement or you got cash, guess what? You can buy a house. It's going to affect our impact our market. If you didn't hear in hour one, in the last 7 days, we've had over 1,800 homes go pending, get a contract, compared to only 1,100 come on the market, new ones.
Yep.
So
it's still, I often view that the pending, those are new pendings because I just thought some of those pendings were just pendings from the week
So they
before.
were active listings. They got a contract within the last 7 days.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
So, and the number was lower. So I think it's, some of the new stuff coming on and, people are probably gobbling up some of the stuff that's been sitting, but it's still very much a seller's market. So if you've been thinking about selling, don't sit on the sidelines. We have ways to protect you guys through COVID, including ways that I just sold a $500,000 home without the buyer seeing it. Literally. Nice. It's the only one in there touring it. Anyway, 813-377-2775. That's our off-air number. Reach out if you got some questions on how we do that. And so I want to go on over to our guest.
I'm so curious about not only where the dirtiest areas in the home are, but what constitutes what quote unquote dirty is. Yeah. Like, is it bugs? Is it mites? Is it bacteria? Is it mold? I want to know what dirt is.
Well, are you defining it, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. You'll find a lot of places that you can't see, but they're still dirty. And so, dirty places in your home are things that you never think about, basically. How about your bed? Yeah. Where you sleep in it every day, right? And you're sleeping, you're sweating, you come from work, from outside, your kids, they go on the bed, they have shoes on or whatever.
Dogs,
so that's one of your
dogs all over the bed.
dogs all over the bed, cats.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
Oh, okay.
Or you cats, cats go outside, they do their thing, they come back. So yeah, beds definitely. Your mattresses have to be one of the dirtiest places at home. Nobody cleaned those on a regular basis.
What if I have one of those protector cover things, like the on the bed?
Yeah, that's great for if you're gonna spell something, like spelling liquids or whatever. That's great for that.
So
but it's
taking
still
that off-
collect.
Taking that off in Washington doesn't help with the
That
dirt.
helps a lot.
Okay.
Definitely.
I was gonna say I got one of those, and we wash ours.
Yeah, if you watch yours, that's definitely
Every
a good point. At least once a week, it's what we try to encourage people to do. Once a week, to their mattress cover or their pillows, because
So,
those are
Christian,
your second things.
I presume that's one of the things you guys clean, right? If you're
Right.
bringing it up as the mattress.
Right. Well, that's one of the points people can't see is that dirty, and we do. Of course, we have the problem. We have the solution. We have a special equipment that's Medical Soda 5, and what it does, it vibrates really hard as it's taking everything out of your mattress. But moving forward, your handles, that every door had that handle thing that it's super dirty, it doesn't look dirty, but it's super dirty. How about your TV controller, your cell phone itself?
My favorite devices.
Yes.
Your video game controller.
video
I hold
game
that video game
controllers.
controller for hours a night.
So those are good to be wiped at least once a day, especially with these worry times right now. And also,
Ooh, once a day. That's a big one.
Once a
yeah,
month?
because
I
you're-
heard once
I'm
a
guilty.
month. I heard once a month. That's what I do. Once a month. Once a month.
everybody's going out, Well, everybody's going out shopping, grocery store. Everything's open now, so you kind of have to take that extra step now, especially if you have kids at home that you're not taking them out, but then you bring them all this into your house, touching everything and cooking and everything. So,
What about the
Yeah.
kitchen sponge? That's pretty nasty. Like, how often should you be throwing that thing away?
oh my God, that
Your sink.
Oh, throw the whole sink away?
well, that and your
Burn
sink.
it. Burn it.
Sink have this particular thing that if it's undermounted on your granite, then that union right there, that joint right there that they put the silicone thing, oh my God, that's the dirtiest place we find. Okay, if you guys have a house that have that undermounted sink, please do check your silicone often, or change it. It doesn't affect it.
How often?
Just
Could we just go to Sarah? This conversation
How
is
often
like
are you changing your silicone, Leo?
once a year.
because come on.
That's
I
what-
never.
That's what,
I've seen it once, and it was this guy who actually showed me that he does it because it gets really dark. It gets black. So if you have white silicone, in a matter of 6 months, it'll be black, and it's all these like
What if it's clear?
it gets
still
black.
It gets black.
in just 6 months or in a year. So those are one of those places that you never clean. Nobody thinks about it. But you put in all your dishes there, and all that bacteria, it's growing around your sink.
What if you have a stainless steel sink? Is that any better?
It's still great, but because the silicone is there, that's what it collects it. And then, but so those were one of the dirtiest places on your house, basically. Your pets' toys definitely need to be cleaned out and disinfected.
So I heard the sponge, you can throw that in the microwave and get the germs out, right?
We heard that too, but we definitely don't recommend people throwing their sponge on their microwave.
Definitely don't recommend that.
That's not a good idea.
How
I
often
will
should you be
say.
throwing it away? Every week?
We do it every like
Every day for
every
these
like
people.
2. No, we actually use everything that we're trying to use right now. It's disposable things. Everything that we're going in the house right now, we're trying to go disposable, like quick. You see these Clorox toilet cleaners? You just clean it and then you dump it. Yeah, it's gone. Nobody have to reuse it.
Has anybody had any reservations about you guys coming to clean since the whole COVID thing started, or are they welcoming you even more so to come clean because of the COVID?
It is crazy how the industry works, because everybody's so worried about getting their house clean, but they're also worried about having people coming into their
Yeah,
house, that it's
right.
cleaning other people's house.
Right.
So we're taking extra precautions. Everybody have to go suit up, and we're doing a ELV cold fogger machine. Which what we do, we go inside, we disinfect the whole area with a fogger machine, and then
How long does that take, and does everybody have to be out?
everybody. It's not that everybody have to be out, but we recommend everybody to be out. It's not toxic. It's completely organic.
I don't think I'd want to breathe that. Do you? I wouldn't.
It's
Clubs
not too
use it.
bad. It doesn't smell bad.
I know, but I just wouldn't want to be in there if there's a whole fogger going off.
Well, yes. We recommend everybody to be out of the house for about 20 minutes. It only takes about 10 minutes to go over your entire house. It goes to deep places, which is one of the big benefits. And then what we're using is what people are using at their hospitals. It's an environmental disinfectant.
Is that like the medical grade peroxide?
Yes, it's kind of like a peroxide, but
We had that done in the studio.
yes. She told me earlier.
Yeah.
She
Nice.
we doing a layer. What it does is it's dry. It dries on the surface and it stays for 30 to 90 days. But on top of that, our ladies go in and clean after. So it's
right,
like
Christian.
a double benefit.
Hold that thought because we're going to roll to a break real quick. If you want some information on how to do this, 813-377-2775. You can call or text 813-377-2775. Back in a minute.
Good morning. Welcome back. This Memorial Day weekend. We forgot to mention that in the first hour and a half there, Katrina.
I know, because people might not be remembering with all this stay-at-home nonsense.
We talked about all this boating and stuff, and Madeira Beach and Apollo Beach, and we never once talked about this is the perfect boating weekend.
There'll be a lot of accidents, too. I think there was just an accident with a jet skier and a tuber. Somebody was in critical condition from what I heard. I don't watch the news, so I get the bits and pieces.
We are the news.
I know. We have to make our own news.
We are the news. You have to just accept that we are the news.
All right, so we have my team cleaners in the house talking about the dirtiest places in your home.
Yes.
And if you've missed it, make sure you catch it either on the podcast, the replay, or on YouTube. And you don't have to push, but you can smash.
Yeah, smash that like button. I love saying that. Smash the like button.
Smash. Like punching, or that's what I hear when you say smash.
Smash.
Well, thanks for having us. As we keep going, talking about the dirty places on your house. I don't know. There's a lot of dirty places at your home. You know.
One of the ones on your list is the coffee reservoir.
Oh my
and oh my gosh, like I've cleaned this and like I have cleaned it, and I was like, wait a minute, I think there's mold in here.
Which is funny is you never think that little drop will build up, right? Because when you have, especially if you have a coffee machine, when you have it just make the coffee for you, and then it's one drop going all the way down all the time. Once you take that off, it's all full of coffee. But coffee, it's okay, I guess. It's not that dirty, right? But when it gets worse is when you have to wash that on your dirty sink or on a dirty surface or whatever you have at home that it's not as clean as you thought, you know, because
let me ask how you guys recommend cleaning that, because usually like in the coffee reservoir, I like wash it all out with bleach, like that thing that holds the water, say in the Keurig, and then I usually run vinegar through it several times, and you can see the cloudy coming when you run it.
Well, that's one of the things we don't use bleach on a regular, like on things that you're going to put food or what, but that's because our company is eco-friendly, so we use all eco-friendly products. But we do recommend that you can do it with white vinegar. Yeah. So white vinegar is really good for your coffee machine, and also for, well, if you have pets. So the white vinegar is good for your toys, for those toys that you want to clean, and maybe you don't have enough Clorox to do it on your pet's toys, you know. But then you can just wipe them down with white vinegar. That help taking a little bit of that bacteria off, and why not, of your pet's toys. But
like
also,
Pat was saying, he never even thought about the pet things. He's like, we never clean that.
Yeah. They all over the house. They go in the backyard. They go in the front yard. You know, You guys take them to the park. throw the ball in the park. Who knows where it goes? It goes on their cars and everything. So
Yeah.
those are big things. Another special point that we seen all the time. It's the ceiling fans. While your ceiling fans,
They get that big layer of dust on those.
Yeah.
yes, and then not only that, but they also spraying all your viruses and allergies all over your house because they collected from your AC. And then so that's one of those things you wanna, especially if you have allergy issues or respiratory problems.
We were just talking about this last hour with our guest, Dynamic Heating and Cooling. Darling was saying they have this air night thing that pulls it all together.
Oh, great!
And then you see it either fall to the counter, which you guys would clean up, or go in the air filter, which is a good thing to change.
Yes. Also, the dust, the dusting on the house is very important to keep it on a low dusting side because it collects so much. I will say, not viruses, but bacteria.
Yeah.
Because it's like their home. They can stay there.
Well, dust is like an accumulation of dead skin cells and
so
other creepy molecules. Leo
so
can
you
probably
want
tell
to
you
keep
about.
your dust
Fly
in down.
pieces.
Yep. And then your fridge, the top of your fridge where nobody gets up there. Those are the dirty places, basically. The heavy dusting, top of your cabinets.
Top of
Almost
cabinets. Yeah,
no
it's a
one
little
goes
bowl.
there.
Yeah.
There's a couple
know.
more on your list too that like
There's so
most
many.
people would not think about, like the toothbrush holder.
Oh my God, yes. Especially if you have that cup in the bathroom and you just throw your toothbrush there, and then it's on the bottom of that cup is like so black and dirty because there's water in there and it gets
What about if we have
Oh
those
my God.
electronic toothbrushes with the UV cleaner that brags
UV
about?
light.
Yeah.
as long as you don't keep it open on the open, as long as you have it covered,
Yeah.
then you're fine. Because once you flush your toilet, you're taking all these things out on the air.
Mine tucks away in
watched
the
it-
cabinet. I got a little tray and I put the toothpaste and my toothbrush and I tuck it in there.
Oh my God.
I remember I watched an episode of Mythbusters, and that was a show that they tested and debunked a whole bunch of myths. And one of the ones was when you flush the toilet, stuff goes all over the place in the air. And they did the test, and oh my God, yeah,
everywhere?
it goes everywhere. When you flush a toilet, it goes everywhere.
Yes, that's exactly what I just said. As long as you have it covered, I try to cover.
Should you put the lid down and then flush it
Yes,
or what? Okay.
definitely.
That's the best thing to
Yes.
do. Yes, that's the best thing to do.
You need
I'm
to,
gonna start
close your-
opening my window right by the toilet when I flush it.
but
Like,
you need to put the lid down when you flush.
Yes.
really? Are you
It
talking to my
works.
husband? Like, what, seriously? We really have this fight in my house because my husband's like, "You're the dude. You leave the toilet seat up." Like,
No, you
really?
need to put the whole lid down.
she's
I yell at my
like
wife
that.
all the time. You have to put the whole thing down, and then she's like, "But then you need to pick the seat back up." I'm like, no, the whole thing stays down. You saw the same episode I did.
Yeah. No,
Now I'm
we
gonna have to go
have the
watch
same
it.
conversation all the time. She's like, put the lid down. We have kids, or why not? And close the door. Keep the door of your bathroom closed. That's a good thing.
Bathrooms are probably one of the dirtiest places in your home, aren't they? I bet they are.
Not really, because people think they're dirty, so they clean them.
Often,
Yes.
right? But the dirtiest place on your bathroom is going to be the base of your toilet.
Mm-hmm.
The base and the back of it. Because
I'm going home to bleach that thing.
yes, please, because that is the dirtiest place on your bathroom, the toilet base.
That's because you boys miss. That's why.
Boys miss and everybody miss, and then
The
nobody
sealed-
goes down there. and
Girls don't miss. What are
You
you
know,
talking about?
Well, no, your seal breaks from sitting on it, standing up and sitting on it. That seal breaks at the base, and you get a little bit of sewage seepage around. It's a
Yeah.
standard home inspection
It is
thing.
really bad. It gets really bad. Behind your bed.
Cell phone should be like at the top of the list. My aunt bought me this thing called phone soap for Christmas, and you put your phone in there. It's like a UV light. It
wow.
it sanitizes it.
Oh, I want one of those.
Phone soap.
I don't think
But
my
it
phone would
actually
fit in
works.
You got to take it out of the case.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
And you just put it there.
It's
it
like a
actually
little
works.
tanning bed for your phone. You put it in there, and
that. But my phone is protected. Why would I want to take it out of the case? Is
so
it-
you can wash that thing, let it dry.
That case is really good for other things. I don't think for COVID-19.
Oh, you just got called out.
My phone doesn't have COVID-19. Wait, if I put it in the Google search engine, it would. That's give me a new Lysol wipe, please.
Yeah, I recommend, or what we recommend our customers is to get their hands full of hand sanitizer and just go over your foam like you're using it. So that way it goes all over that places that you actually touch, and then just wipe it down constantly, because like I say, we driving, we going places, we touching. And then
for ladies, you have on the list the purse handles.
Of course.
Not even the bottom, the handle.
on their purse.
It's where you touch.
But the makeup is another thing. Everything that you touch that you don't realize is dirty. Especially if your makeup, you have a list tip and then you put it on your purse, you get it out. You were shopping, right? You get in your car, you touch in your car. Then you decide at the stop, at the light, you decide to get your lips really nice, right? Then you get your lipstick. And then now you put your lipstick back on your purse. Now all your makeup, it's contaminated, you know? So those are things that you don't think are dirty, but they are. No one cleans your makeup constantly.
So I don't have a purse. I'm just saying, like I carry a wallet and I try to put it right here.
Well, yeah, the purse, it's because exactly the same thing, you know? You're driving, you're touching things, you're grabbing it. You're not thinking about it's dirty because you don't see it dirty. But because you don't see it dirty doesn't mean it's not.
Hey, is there any clean place in the world?
Yes, only
Vallarta's, Pat. Vallarta's.
only hospitals, and I don't know.
the operating room.
Their sterilization room, yeah, you're right.
Signing up for operating room. You gonna live in there?
There's not 99% when you're talking about cleaning. It's so hard to get to those points that you can't see unless you have a special light or a special equipment for. But what you can do is trying to prevent it with this proper equipment and the proper processes to make it actually clean and to make actually your family are able to be safe, your kids are safe, your pets are safe, you know.
My fear is that people are starting to loosen up, so they're going to get more lax about like what they've been thinking about, washing their hands more, not contaminating stuff. That's what I think will be the downfall, right? If people don't pay attention to that and wash hands regularly and do the stuff we've been doing over the last
Going back to normal life, which
right.
Which is scary. It'll never be normal for us again. We will have to go to houses with a lot more precautions than we used to. So it changed. The cleaning services changed a lot because of the COVID-19. Some people will say, well, but I'm not cleaning houses because they don't want me to go in their house. Some other companies will say, oh, we want to file to get the loan and not do the job, right? Because they don't want to expose themselves.
Right.
In our case, we think that we can fight it as long as we are doing it professionally, as long as you are following the steps, as long as you have the PPI. And if you provide, yeah,
is
your personal protection equipment.
Thank you.
So once you have your protection equipment, then you can actually offer this service and not being so scared about it. So once we show up at somebody's houses, we have a full suit, glasses, mask. It also covers your head.
Are you guys going to do it like this permanently or just till this passes?
We're gonna try to do this as long as we can keep it going, because not only provides a better service, but make sure that it makes sure on my side that I'm providing 100% quality, and then I wanted to ensure that I'm doing a disinfection, not just promote it and not being able to do it, right? So we have a medical certified equipment. Our vacuums are medical certified, which is a big benefit for older people that has. Remember, our customers are older people. We're dealing with people that can't clean their own house. So that's a higher risk for us as a company, right?
And them, yeah.
We're talking about 65 and older.
Yeah.
That hire us to do their house on daily or monthly or weekly basis.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more, and I also want to know like what your rates are, and just your background check, your employees, that kind of stuff. This is Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in a minute.
No more. Stock markets crashed, took all the reasons I was working for. You better not try to put a mask on my face when I'm walking out the door.
Awesome. Welcome back. This is Leo with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. Pat with the country
Almost
music.
snickered.
the Americanized country music. Telling the quarantine to go things that'll make Pat
Go away.
hit the dump button
Go
if I
away.
say what I want to say right now. So, yeah.
Let's talk about your rates. So you said a lot
Okay.
of your clientele are older, but I
Yes.
imagine your demographics are mixed, right? Like most businesses.
No, definitely. There's you get a little bit of everybody. You get a little bit of everything. You get people that is moving in, moving out. They like their house or their property clean before the new renter or before they move out, whatever. You get the deep cleaning. You know, you get people that wants their house completely sanitized and disinfected, including
We got
cabinets.
2
and-
closings today. One had 3 young guys moving out and 90-year-olds moving in. So they wanted the whole place sterilized before they moved in.
There you go. And a lot of people's doing it because they're scared of buying a house that it was owned by a first responder. You know, I've been getting that a lot. It is like, okay, do you guys come out but the owner of the house, he was a doctor and he worked at a hospital.
A nurse, somebody.
A nurse, do you guys still come out because he was exposed to COVID-19? So do you guys do that?
Do you?
We're done unless the house completes the 14 days empty. If the house have about at least 2 weeks empty, then I guess we do it. But we're taking that extra step just to make sure
So
the
what is
person
the-
that was living there
What
is
should
not
the
just...
what should the person do that, let's say they bought a house, it was owned by a nurse, and you guys are saying, look, it's gonna be 2 weeks before we come out, you gotta be empty, and they're like, I don't have 2 weeks, like I gotta get in my new place.
Yeah, well...
What should they do to take precautions to get their home?
Well, we can offer
Living
them a solution, which is you can get your house disinfected with a fogger machine, and then maybe the next day we'll be able to come in. But if they want a whole cleaning, deep cleaning, going into their cabinets, bathrooms, and all that, which actually requires somebody to go in and touch it, you know, and wipe it down and wash it himself, that is what we're not trying to do right there on the spot. We're trying to make sure we can disinfect it first with a fogger machine, and then they can do the cleaning. You know, we can
So
schedule it for the next day or the next
What
2
is
days.
the cost to disinfect it?
But the 2-week frame time, it's first of all because we're booked. Everybody wants to get their house clean. So if you call me today and you say, Chris, I want my house clean tomorrow, disinfected, everything ready to go, I won't be able to say yes because, like I say, COVID-19, everybody wants their house clean, disinfected. Offices are trying to get back. Restaurants are trying to reopen. Dentistry, you know, that's a big industry too. So all these dentist offices are trying to get going. So they're trying to call in me and everything. So it takes time. All these cleaning companies
And
are
a lot of
super
these,
booked
like,
right
I mean,
now.
grocery stores have to sanitize every day when they close.
So exactly. So it is kind of like right now it's like a boom for cleaning companies, and everybody's getting a little bit of the cake. But our rates are compared to other companies are pretty good. I will say our benefits are eco-friendly, medical certified equipment.
What is the cost to disinfect it? Are you guys doing that?
Yes, we do a single home for 3-bed, 2-bed. It'll cost them $250 to go in for the fogger machine
Okay.
to do the whole disinfection. Then we run on depends on what kind of service they want. If they want a regular cleaning, that can cost them for a 3-bed, 2-bed about 1,500 square feet. We're talking about $200, $160, $180. And then if they want a deep cleaning, which it will go all over your house, your kitchen, cabinets, ovens,
Yeah,
microwaves.
explain the difference between a regular clean and a deep clean.
Sure, absolutely. So the regular clean will include what is surface, your countertops, your bathrooms, your kitchen, but not in the inside. Only in the outside. Your outside cabinets, your countertops, your outside, your microwave in the outside, everything that is in the outside. Your deep cleaning, the big difference between the regular cleaning and the deep cleaning is that we go inside. So the deep cleaning will bring in your inside cabinets on your kitchen, your inside cabinets on your bathroom, your microwave, your oven, and your fridge. And then also we'll bring in your door frames and your handles. Also your baseboards will include on that. Inside windows, blinds. With your regular cleaning, you'll get the blinds dusted, but you don't get your inside windows. So there are a lot of difference between one and the other because
What's the difference in cost on the deep clean?
well, not too much actually. It's crazy, but the difference it's let's say on the same house, 3 bed, 2 bath. It'll be maybe like $100 more. It'll be maybe instead of being 225, it might be 325. You know.
Now, deep clean, is it fair to say that you either require double the manpower or longer amount of time?
It might, yeah, a longer amount of time, definitely. But the benefit with that is that deep cleaning, it includes your fogger machine disinfection. So when you do call me for a deep cleaning, you say, hey, Chris, I want my house completely clean. I want a deep cleaning. Because of the COVID-19, I'm doing a $250 discount.
Oh, wow.
So because I want my employees to be safe, I want your people to be safe too. So what I'm going to do, what we've been doing, it's you call me for a deep cleaning. I know it's a $325 service on a 1,500 square feet, 1,600, all the way maybe to 2,000 square feet. Then we include your complete fogger disinfecting with an ULB cold machine, cold
Nice.
fogger machine, which is that what they call.
And you had to secure a bunch of those, I would imagine, right, when this whole thing started?
Yes, we well, when this whole thing started, we started buying the equipment, and we started getting ahead of the game, and that's why we were able to offer the service now with all these.
Are you guys
benefits.
regulated by an industry that suggests what you should do in a
Well,
market like this?
We are. We did call, and we communicate with the Hillsborough County Health Department.
Okay.
I did my let them know I registered with them my company in case they need help. So we
Great.
volunteer our company to go in hospitals, hotels, and high traffic demand.
Chris, Natalie, we're out of time already.
I know.
813-377-2775. 813-377-2775.
Natalie, you were quiet. Thanks for coming, though.
Thank you.
Again,
always
813-377-2775. If you want to connect with my team cleaners or even talk to Natalie, 813-377-2775. Love where you live or we'll fix it. See you next week.
Love where